hope everyone's having a great day. I'm going to the DMV right now to go get my real ID. And something that I was thinking about when I was at work is like, what are our dislikes about ourselves, right? And I feel like sometimes we don't want to touch our dislikes because it's like we're affirming something that can become negative. And I think we all have dislikes. That's why humans are not the way that they should be, because we're so afraid of what others are going to think, or like, oh, people are not going to like me because of that. It doesn't matter. No one cares. People judge you based on how they feel about themselves. And also, people judge because sometimes people see the potential within you, subconsciously not even knowing it, which is pretty crazy. The human analogy is insane. I think that it's like something that can be overly studied over time, and it's never going to be fully profound because life is just spiritual. We're spiritual beings by nature. That's just the reality. So we cannot undo the spiritual manner. Psychology, sure, it's important in the world, but in a spiritual point of view, it doesn't mean anything. Because what's going on is people are wanting to figure out the human brain, when in reality, there's certain things that make sense. Of course, they don't make sense, but it's like you're never going to fully understand it to its full capacity because we're just human beings. God's our creator. That's it. Nothing more, nothing else. That's literally it. And that's my point of view too. I mean, as I've been able to get closer to God, or I've been able to grow spiritually, life makes a little more sense. And I don't try to share so much of what I think because most people are just not going to understand what I'm saying. Most people will be like, what is this guy saying? Did you do psychedelics? What book did you read? I've gotten those questions asked. And honestly, I just don't care. That's why I try to be very mindful of who I share my stuff with nowadays, because people are not going to respect me, or people are not going to view me the same. And I don't really care, but it's more of like, I don't want to just be seen like, what is this? What? But some people understand, and that's important. If some people understand what I'm saying, that's everything to me. I'm doing something right. So I'm grateful because I know what it means to me, and I understand everything that I say. And some people will just be like, what? And someone will be like, word, makes a lot of sense, right? But let's talk about my dislikes. Something that I truly dislike about myself is that I'm very overly social, that like most people don't want to be around me because I'm too like hyper. I'm too extreme sometimes. Like I'm too, And honestly, since I've started to be more transparent within myself, like I feel like I just don't care as much anymore, because like what I truly desire is going to happen when it's meant to happen. Even if it doesn't, guys, I tried. And I think that's the most important thing. And I don't mean to just yap, right? Like, yo, this guy just yaps. I'm sure a lot of you think that, but I'm just at a place at ease within myself. Like, I mean, I have my days. I'm human, right? I'm not perfect, but I don't want to thrive to be perfect. I just want to thrive to do my very best and make others feel welcome. That's something about me where I'm really friendly to that extreme, where like I love making others feel welcome. And I feel like that's like, I talked about a video that I created in my TikTok where what was my heart desire as a little kid, and it was just to be super social. Because like growing up, like I didn't really go out so much. I was in Central America from like 3 to 7, and I wasn't really allowed out so much because at the end of the day, it's a third world country, and it makes sense today. And like I was a little kid, but apart from being a little kid, I would see other kids playing outside, and that really bothered me. So without, one of the things that really affected me was not being able to put myself out there. And I never really learned how to have that social skill, never really learned how to interact with other kids. And as I got older, it was always really hard for me to interact with others, because it was like, I was kind of awkward sometimes, but I would always get out of my bubble. And that's something that I truly admire about myself. I'm very grateful that I was able to, create that within myself. I'm very grateful that I just put myself in uncomfortable positions. I would see other kids just live in that bubble, and I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? That seems so boring. But like my desire was to go up to the girl, to go up and make friends. Even though in the inside I was like afraid. I was so anxious. I was so scared. And we all go through that, right? But I was like, nah, I'm going to beat that, because I'm not any of those things. And so I'm so grateful that I got myself so uncomfortable doing the things that I desire. And now it's like I became so social, and it's like I'm really good at what I do. But, I'm grateful because it allows me to just yap and create content now. It's cool. But I feel like I throw some valuable stuff. And if it sticks to some people, great. And if it doesn't, then my content is just not for you. My content's for people that want to become better. right? A part of self-development and self-growth is just becoming self-aware of who you truly are as a person, because we all want to be our authentic selves. What does that look like to you? And it really comes down to two things: being grateful and not caring what anyone thinks. Why? Because at the end of the day, guys, if they're not paying your bills, if they're not making food for you, if they're not reading a book at you at night, if they're not putting you to sleep, who are they? Nothing. No one cares. So I just truly hope that you guys get something out of this. I gotta keep driving, but you know, daily updates of my life and myself. And you know, as I keep creating content, you guys will truly get to know me better. But I love you guys, and have a beautiful day. Bye.